Hello, Professor. Thank you for watching my presentation. Today, I will be analyzing Target Corporation failure in the Canada market through the lens of global marketing strategy. We will explore what went wrong, why it happened, and what Target and other global brands can learn from this experience. Now, moving on to the next slide. Here is the slide introduction to Target. Target is one of the largest discount retailers in the US, known for affordable pricing, trendy private label products, and a clean in-store experience. With a strong domestic brand image and growing sales in the US, Target decided to expand internationally, starting with Canada in 2013. But just 2 years later, Target exited the country, closing all 133 stores and taking a 5.4 billion loss. So what happened? Let's know about that. Moving on to the next slide. Here is the overview of the Canadian market. Canada may seem similar to the US, but it has its own market dynamics. It's geographically large but has a smaller and more dispersed population, about 39 million people. Consumers are highly price conscious and loyal to existing retailers like Walmart, Loblaws, and Costco. Urban shoppers also expect a high availability, fair pricing, and convenience. These expectations become a major hurdle for Target. Now, moving on to the next slide. Here is a market entry strategy. Target entered Canada using a rapid acquisition model, purchasing leaseholds of 124 Jailers stores across the country. In less than 2 years, they opened over 130 stores, aiming to replicate their US success quickly. Uh, mm, but the strategy backfired. Most locations were not in prime retail zones. Renovations ran over budget and were rushed. Target didn't establish proper distribution center in advance. This led to empty shelves, delayed inventory, and unhappy customers. This is a classic example of poor mode of entry planning, choosing speed over strategy. Now let's move on to the next slide. Here is the global marketing strategy issues. Uh, Target failed to adapt its global marketing strategy to the Canadian market. Pricing was higher than in the US, which disappointed customer expecting US-like value. The supply chain wasn't localized, so stores often had inventory issues. Canadian consumers didn't connect with the brand because the marketing message was not localized. There was no clear value proposition. Target also lacked an e-commerce presence, unlike other competitors like Walmart. Now moving on to the next slide. Here is the cultural and social factors. Target assumed Canadian and American consumers were the same, but there were subtle cultural differences. Canadians are generally more conservative in spending and have different retail expectations. In Quebec, bilingual requirements were overlooked. There was no French adaptation in early stages. Using Hofstede's cultural dimensions, we see that Canadian score lower on masculinity and higher on uncertainty avoidance, meaning they prefer reliability and fair pricing over flashy branding. Target didn't reflect these values, which hurt its acceptance. Now let's move on to the next slide. Here's the legal and regulatory barriers. There were also several legal and regulatory challenges. Each Canadian province has different retail laws. There were strict bilingual packaging laws, employment standards, and environmental policies. Target faced challenges, especially in Quebec, where legal compliance with French language regulation was non-negotiable. These legal complexities weren't factored into their expansion timeline, further delaying store openings. Now let's move on to the next slide. Here is the Porter's Five Forces analysis. Target faced intense competition in Canada, especially from Walmart. Using Peter's Five Forces, we can break this down. Rivalry is high. Walmart and Costco already had market share, supply chains, and a loyal customer. Threat of new entrants is low. Retail market has high entry costs. Bargaining power of suppliers is moderate. Canadian supply chains are more rigid. Bargaining power of customers is high. Canadian shoppers are price sensitive and local online and vocal online. threat of substitutes, moderate e-commerce and dollar stores offer alternatives. Um, Walmart's competitive edge came from its cost leadership, local logistics, and clear brand value. Now let's move on to the next slide. Uh, what could Target have done differently? The first one is localized pricing and inventory, match a Canadian expectation, not US models. And the second is pilot store approach. Start with 5-10 stores and major cities, analyze performance, and then scale. And the third is strong logistics. Build distribution hubs before launching operations. This relates to the standardization versus adaptation debate in global marketing. Target choose too much standardization and ignore the need for local adaptation. Now move on to the next slide. Uh, if I were the CEO at that time, here is what I would have done differently. First, run a test and learn model with one province to gather data and consumer feedback. And the second is partner with Canadian logistic company to localize operation and avoid stock issues. And the third is a launch a cross-platform brand awareness campaign tailored to Canadian values with bilingual content and price match guarantees. And these actions align with strategic marketing models like Pastel and globalization. Think globally, act locally. Now moving on to the next slide. Here is the recommendation for future markets. The first is conduct a full Pastel analysis before entry. Use a gradual entry strategy like joint ventures or franchising. And the third is embrace local responsiveness in marketing, supply chain, and staffing. And the another is use emerging tech like predictive analytics to manage inventory and customer insights. And the last one is be culturally empathetic. Brand perception is local. Now moving on to the next slide. To wrap up, Target's failure in Canada wasn't due to lack of effort. It was failure due to listen, learn, and localize. Global success and operational planning. Uh, this case teaches us that even the biggest brand must adapt or risk losing millions of dollars. Thank you for watching. I hope this presentation offered insight into global marketing strategy through a real world lens.